So I wanted to just sort of end the program, and we'll have some time I have some comments at the end, but I wanted to introduce Rebecca for those of you who don't know her. She is the founder and chief marketing officer at 401k Marketing. She's also the founder of that. And she has been in the industry for more than 20 years with various organizations and speaks almost everywhere. She is an industry icon in this. So we actually just did a podcast together about what happens if plan fees go to zero. So it was a really, really great discussion. So really impressed with her. And it's so needed. Most of the advisors that I work with or see, they think marketing is hiring another salesperson, and creating brand and creating awareness, thought leadership, and adding value, which is really what TPSU is all about, is really, really important. So I wanted to welcome Rebecca, ask her, just give a little bit about what 401k Marketing does, and talk about the collaboration that we have between 401k Marketing and TPSU. So Rebecca, welcome, and tell us a little bit about 401k Marketing.
I appreciate it. I think I came into the conversation at the perfect moment. Someone asked about the value of an advisor. Someone else asked about sales and marketing content. I was like, oh, I think this is being teed up perfectly then. So hi, everyone. I'm Rebecca Hourhan with 401k Marketing. I started our firm 10 years ago now, so it's kind of crazy to me. That's been a decade already. It started with a simple question to an advisor, a retirement plan specialist, and I asked, what are you doing for your business development campaigns? And they said, I don't know, nothing. I'm trying to fit wealth management into the retirement plan world. And that led to another question, which was, if you could do marketing, what would you do? And then that sparked basically what became the firm. There are 12 of us here at 401k Marketing, where we help advisors with content creation, business development campaigns, ways that you can consistently follow up with those prospects that Fred and his wonderful team through TPSU work so hard to attend those events. And that next question is, how are you staying in front of them through this very long sales journey? Earlier in today's conversation, Fred mentioned it's somewhere between 18 and 20 months. That's a long time. There's a lot of things that happen over a year and a half. So what is your current nurture campaigns, drip campaigns? How are you staying top of email boxes, on their social media feeds, and in the back of their mind going, do I have the right advisor? Is this advisor that I'm currently working with the best one for me? Maybe I should talk to the advisor I met at TPSU. So that's what we do over here.
So talk a little bit about what we've been working together on and how that would work for somebody who wants to engage with you, either on their own but also in collaboration with TPSU.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. So Fred had mentioned that TPSU has built a brand within the plan sponsor world. And that's absolutely true. With all of the contacts that are getting regular emails and information, when they see TPSU, it's not the first time they're seeing it. So Fred and I had a great conversation, and we said, well, why don't we leverage the brand that TPSU has already built and then have that wonderful brand equity, the advisor, you and your office, can co-brand together with TPSU. And then as part of your follow-up campaign, TPSU and your brand would be front and center. And if you want, Fred, I can grab the screen and I can go walk through. Okay. So I'm going to start off with something that we work very hard on every year, which is the 2024 editorial calendar. Every year we sit down and we talk directly with our clients and we say, what's happening in the year in coming soon? And then we work to put it together into themes. Anyone who's here who wants this afterwards, just let me know. I'll happily share it with you. But we break down the retirement plan kind of ecosphere into 4 different channels. First quarter is fiduciary plan governance, because generally speaking, when you're going out, meeting with your clients, Q1, a lot of it is about let's look back. What happened last year and what are we looking forward to doing? So it's around fiduciary plan governance. Q2, we lovingly say that people are feeling a little bit, the weather's warm, we're excited, we want to get fit, also financially fit. So we lean into employee engagement in Q2. Q3, plan design changes, modern retirement plan strategies for this year. And then Q4, we get out our crystal ball. We talk a lot about what's going to happen in the near future. We're going to look again at Secure Act 2.0, what goes into effect in 2025, how can your clients be best prepared? So this is the big picture strategy. And when you think about your business and you're asking yourself, what are my business goals, my marketing strategy? What are the campaigns I'm doing? And if you were to hire someone to implement marketing on your behalf, this is something that they would put together for you. And they'd say, hey, this is our go-to-market strategy. This is how we're going to express the value of an advisor, build out an employee education program, and keep decision makers in the know, which was exactly what was said just a couple moments ago before I popped on, which is really exciting. And then we break it down into a week by week segment. So that way every person who would be wearing that marketing hat within your organization can easily be able to implement it, share it on social media, share it through your email, search engine optimization, as well as on your articles. And then we're best friends with compliance for anyone here who has that question. Best friends. So for Fred and TPSU, and like I mentioned, borrowing that wonderful brand equity, we created co-branded content. So it has the TPSU brand forward, which is already recognized by those decision makers. They attended the event, they've seen the logo, they know what TPSU is. Now you can click to insert your logo, your contact information, and you become that source that they're going to go to when they have questions, when they want more information. Michaela had mentioned that it's a long sales cycle and you want to be presenting value over and over again. This is a way that you can help to do that. This is an example of a newsletter. Everything that we have includes email communication. So how do you distribute it? Blog copy for your website so you can be found online, and LinkedIn posts so you can copy and paste and be active on social media. Then there's employee education. So how are we getting in front of those participants so that way they can then become confident retirement savers? How can they, this is for Q1, it's on mastering savings buckets, give them some good parameters on what does it take to kind of have some fun here. It's around finding extra dollars. Like who doesn't like to find extra dollars? Shop your pantry. And then also always focus on maximizing your 401k contributions. This quarter is on cybersecurity, very hot topic, a lot of questions out there. And this is specifically from the DOL's guidance, but then we adjusted it so that way, if I am a plan administrator, what does it mean to me? So we put it into retirement plan language. Social cards for online. Q1, people are talking about their retirement plan. How are you organizing those files? Are they kind of like trade secrets and like there's mystery links and it's like inside your inbox? Or is it organized in a way that you could easily click, find it, your plan administrators, your plan sponsors can access it? So this is a helpful piece on how to organize your fiduciary files. And then everything is available online in a 13-week course through our website. I kind of downloaded it so you guys could get the high level overview first, but it's all available online here and you can click through it as you complete each section, marking it done. We realize that everyone on the call are busy professionals. There's a high probability that you might not be the person who's actually implementing the content. So we try and make it as simple as possible for everyone who is implementing it. And we have a team of relationship managers here.
So just that everybody understands, we'll be co-creating or co-branding the content that Rebecca has. She sends it to you, and that allows you to send it out to, anyone who's attended a TPSU. So now you have more touch points. But, as a lecturer, and as long as you're, continuing, you can use our brand, to do this. So it's not like we're limiting you you can only send this out to TPSU attendees. You can send it out and, to anyone that's in your database. What is the cost per month to do this co-branded content
Sure, great question, Fred. It's $5.49 per month.
per month? And I know you have another level, you have 3 levels. What did they get and what's the cost of the next level up?
Sure. This, by the way, is only available for TPSU clients. I just want to call that out. This is not something you can find on the interwebs. But we do have 3 other options for clients who are interested in the in the quarterly content, as well as our expansive content library, which includes sales materials, that presentations and pitch decks, brochures. Sorry, I'm going to try and log in. As well as a ton of content on Secure Act. We are constantly making sure that the material in here is relevant to plan sponsors. It answers that age-old question of tell me more as well. We also have a lot on state IRA plans for anyone who has questions or lives in one of those states. How are you having that conversation as well? And then the one thing that people love is on sales materials, where you can download like a pitch deck, a service overview, institutional fact finders. We have a ton of resources for employees. So how are you explaining Roth versus pre-tax, budgeting and savings basics, estate planning, a lot of different conversation starters, especially as we talk more about that convergence of wealth and retirement. This is a really nice bridge. So as you're meeting with folks who have different financial needs, you can have a very easy overview to start to have those wonderful next step conversations too.
Great, thank you, Rebecca.
Yeah.
And when we started talking about doing this, we decided we don't want to take a piece of this, so we're not like the price didn't go up. All we're doing is saying, hey, this is available to you. We think it's a perfect marriage to have educational seminars and then content follow-up. And so we just wanted to make this resource available to you. So if you're interested, just contact Rebecca directly. It's not through us. And she will work with you on this. And you don't have to worry in terms of exclusivity, because we don't have, we might have 2 advisors in one zone, but the most part, we have 1 in each there. So just wanted to make this aware and follow, and it's part of the follow-up process. So thank you very much, Rebecca, for that. And if we can just return to the full screen, that would be very helpful on that. So that's pretty much what we wanted to talk about. I had a couple of other comments, but I want to make sure that I answer any questions, just things that we heard. When people say, what's the most important thing about the TPSU program? And I say there are 3 most important things. 1 is follow-up, 2 is follow-up, 3 is follow-up, because all of this, and we try to do as much as we can to make it a great program, to put as many people as we can in the seats. But if you're not following up, you're going to go, wow, why did I do this? What was it for? What did I do? And, again, we're trying to help you, give you as many hooks, but it's really you that has to do that follow-up. And as you heard, you've got to have a process, and you'll learn and it'll get better on it. One of our most prolific adjunct lecturers, who's now, elevated to a higher plane, Joe DeNoyer, who's the head of Hub's retirement planning and wealth. He first 2 years, after 2 years, his staff said, why are we doing this? We're not getting any plans. And then they just started popping, and he's been doing it for 10 years, and he has a 700-800 person or company prospect. So, but he's got a very, very intense, and I think he is a client of Rebecca Houlihan. So follow-up is really important. And what we're seeing is plan sponsors want more education. You know, they value training, not just for themselves, but for, you know, their committees and other people. So this is only growing. And if you're the one who's doing that, you put yourself in a very, very strong position to do that. We also have another resource that's out there called Trace. It's called TPSU Retirement Committee Education. Trace includes 3 online courses. It was reviewed and sort of approved by the Groom Law Group. When they finish the online courses, they get a certificate of completion. And then there's a 4th course, which is really for you to deliver in person or live, not necessarily in person, but a live committee training. So it's like committee training in a box in collaboration with us. One of our lecturers who's got his firm has got 40,000 benefit and PNC clients. He's going to use this as a way to market to his PNC and benefit brokers and try to leverage and get in front of their clients. So that's available to you as well, Trace. I mean, there is a cost if a plan sponsor wants to access, but it's like $395 per plan with 7 people and $2,500 for 10 plans, but it's a minimal cost. But there are, you know, other opportunities. And just so you know, and we don't push this at the program, but we do have another service, and we heard this over and over about advisor RFPs. Advisors have done a really good job about drilling into the plan sponsor's head that they have to conduct due diligence on their benchmarking on their record keeper and their investments, and they have to go to RFP every 3 to 5 years on their record keeper. Well, the same is true for the advisor, and their plan sponsors are starting to wake up to that. We have a service, RPA due diligence service, which is just starting to explode, where the plan sponsors come to us and we will conduct either a benchmark, an RFI, or an RFP. Now, if anyone from your plan who's attended your program does that, and again, we don't highlight it unless you want to with us, we send them back to you. So you're included. So a lot of times plan sponsors will get on the fence and they won't take any action, but if you put them into an RFP or even an RFI, which is a real, you know, slimmed down service, it takes much less time. It's more likely they're going to do it. We don't push that, but I want to make sure that you know that that's available out there. Centers of influence are critical. So they may not have money, but in the case of Shelley, the last program, their auditing CPA brought 9 people to the program. So great value. CPAs, attorneys. We think there's a great value in TPAs, but we haven't seen them bring many clients. It's more the CPAs, and that's really who we're focusing on for the centers of influence on that. And before I make sure I answer everyone's question, there's been a lot of change happening in the seminar marketing world. One of our bigger clients, I guess it should be a compliment, somehow I don't feel like it is, NFP decided they did so well. They were doing 25, 30 programs a year. They decided they're going to do it themselves. Well, it's very, very different when they do it themselves. And obviously, it's only available to NFP clients or advisors. So they are no longer in the market in all their zones, which have been very lucrative, like Atlanta and in California, Southern California. And then the other competitor, Exponential Growth, XPS, was sold to Pension Bar. So it's now more of an in-house resource. And, one of the concerns we had and questions when Shelley said we want Atlanta, she actually has Alpharetta. We had 5 advisors interested, and we're like, Shelley, why would you be doing TPSU when you could do XPS, which is internal and it's an internal resource? And she said, because you have a higher quality, but of attendees. But now it is an advisory in-house. There's nothing wrong with it, but we think there's a value in having an independent third party like TPSU that selects you and provides not marketing or salesy content, which we find and we hear from the other programs. So just a little bit about that. Dan, any final comments before we address to see if we have any questions in the chat room?
I don't have anything else. Does anybody out there have any questions?
And you can talk. You don't just have to use the.
I did know, I saw in the notes that Michaela said that she's happy to share her presentation deck. So feel free to reach out to me and I can facilitate that. Or if you have Michaela's information, you're welcome. I suspect that all 3 of the ALs, you can tell, I think that they're team players, busy team players at that, but they believe in this and I'm sure they would love to chat with you about it.
We actually have a formal library of presentations that most of the adjunct lecturers are willing, and we give you access to those. Isabel, we're using the behavioral finance. We're saying, tell us if you don't want us to share your presentation with other lecturers. And again, we almost never get someone saying, I don't want you to share. So that is all available on Google and a shared drive. So you can take a look at not just Michaela's, but everyone. We do have that, right, Isabella? Am I saying that correctly?
I have the presentations ready for everybody who wants to have one. We don't have a place right now, but we are working on it.
Okay, so we had it in the past, but we will, but it's important we do. So if we don't have any other questions, I want to thank everyone. As you can tell, we have a very dedicated staff, very, long tenured people, which I'm very grateful for, to have the people, and they are there to support you. It takes a lot of work, as you can tell, to put on a program. You can do 100 things right and there's no coffee. Or the parking is something wrong with the parking, and that's all people focus on. So we make sure as much as we possibly can to eliminate all the things, but also to put you in as strong a position as possible. No sales, but it's all sales. How do we put you in a position to follow up? Again, the curriculum cannot include any sales and marketing. You can always talk about yourself and use yourself as an example. But the breaks afterwards, talking to people, absolutely, you should be talking about yourself and what you do and how you do it, and certainly afterwards. But I think we find that the discussion is much, much more engaging if they don't feel like they're being sold to during the session. Somebody want Dan's contact information is dan@tpsuniversity.com. It's also same email, trauniversity.com. It goes to the same place, but it's his first name at that. Okay. And we will send the slide. We'll send the slides to everyone who attended. We'll send Rebecca's slides as well on that. And with that, I am going to thank everybody and thank all of my colleagues and thank all of you for attending, and hopefully look forward to seeing you at a TPSU program. Thank you very much.